This just in the air. Last night, Morant on the fast break give and go. Look at this. There it is for the ridiculous left-handed oop against the Celtics. Yeah, he can get up. Chiney Ogwumike back with me. Chiney, the otherworldly talent in the NBA was on display last night. Who's the best basketball player in the world right now?
Max, this might be the first time that we have multiple candidates entering the MVP, but also best player right now conversation. And I think it starts, not MVP, but just player, with Ja Morant. I mean, Ja, what he's been able to do, and I know he went up against the best defense, the Celtics, since January 1, but he had a slow start, and he had 30 in the second half and finished with 38. Ja's just must-watch basketball in the way that, you know, there were moments where Blake Griffin was must-watch because you wanted to see him dunk on everybody. But then he's a guard, and he has a handle, and he'll knock down the three. And guess what? The three unlocks his game. I'd also go and say my other favorite player to watch right now, Joel Embiid, another J. I mean, what Joel Embiid is doing, he does not have the luxury of being the primary ball handler, but he's being dominant. I mean, a lot of people said, all right, James Harden, by the way, I'm going to name those people, Richard Jefferson. Everyone's going to have to adjust their games because James Harden is so ball dominant and things like that. The reality is Joel Embiid, that's his team, and this is his time to make the run. Not only run for MVP, but also at championship. I love what he's done as a true back to the basket big. I love that he can knock down the three, and I love that Philly looks like they're hitting their stride with their new addition.
Yeah, I was saying last year that the title is vacant. For years, it was LeBron James, best player in basketball. And then the title was up for grabs, right? Was it LeBron? Was it KD? Or maybe Giannis, right? Those are the three guys kind of staking a claim still. But now you have to factor in Embiid, Jokic, Ja, Luka, and if they could ever really come through in the playoffs the way they do in the regular season, Harden and Steph, it's wide open right now. Time for Chiney's crystal ball. Chiney, you're going to help us see into the future. Predict what will happen in the rest of this NBA season. Who you got coming out of the West, Chiney?
Who do I have coming out the rest? My crystal ball, this is a very bold prediction. I've got the Memphis Grizzlies coming out of the West. Just for fun, okay, guys? Indulge me. The Golden State Warriors are begging for Draymond Green to be back on both ends of the floor. Offensively, because Steph and Klay missed those assists, but also defensively, they have really struggled from the defensive position in particular. So I think the Memphis Grizzlies, who lead the league in overall rebounding, who are #1 in steals and blocks, the first team since like 1970 to have all of those categories covered, led by a sensational talent in Ja Morant and fun guys like, you know, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. It feels like this season they're taking it personal.
I was the first one on the Grizzlies to get there. I just want to say that for the record before you and Jay will. All right, how far can the Sixers go in the playoffs, Chiney?
So in my crystal ball, the Sixers can win it all. You heard me. In my crystal ball, the Sixers could win it all. What they've been waiting for has been delivered with a T. James Harden, they've always said Joel Embiid needs someone to have in the backcourt that can not only help get him the ball in the pick and roll, but also knock down deep shots. Well, have you seen that step back? It's back. Also, I love that James Harden is taking it personal as well. When he misses a layup after getting fouled, he's mad. He understands that both he and Joel have one thing in common compared to a lot of the other stars. They have yet to win a championship. So with the East, you never know how things shake out with health in Chicago in the long term. Brooklyn, my goodness, there are teams coming, but Philly looks like, all right, maybe this might be it.
Tyrese Maxey's still balling, and by the way, he gave up too much. Daryl Morey got Harden back for Simmons and held on to Thibault and Maxey. Let's talk Lakers-Warriors, Chiney. They'll face off tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. The Warriors have been struggling without Draymond Green. To me, the irreducible parts of the Warriors, right? If you had to boil it down to one guy, it's Steph. That's not the word. It's Steph and Dre, his pick-and-roll partner, the guy who can play the small ball five, the do-everything guy on defense, the point forward. He's the guy. They don't have him. Are you worried about the Warriors?
I am very worried about the Warriors just because at some point, the season is going to come to April, and if Draymond Green is not back then, they could slide potentially in the positioning. I mean, Memphis is looking to make themselves all the way up to number 2. The Suns are trying to hold on, and I know that they have a 7-game buffer, but the Warriors don't want this to continue to be their identity. Steve Kerr has said it. I mean, we look like very uncharacteristic to what we've seen the last 7 or 8 years. I think Draymond Green is the answer, but that's a lot of pressure on him to fix a lot of the problems that have crept up the last 2 or so weeks.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.